A lot of our veterans are now talking about the need for better services, talking about the conflicts that are arising during the application process. A lot of our veterans are having hard times. Recently, we've been involved in helping a number of veterans, and as a result of that, one evening I sat down and decided that maybe I need to make a short statement and try to help clear up a couple things. This is our traditional medicine. This is our medicine that takes us into the spiritual world. This is the Indian medicine that empowers us. This is the medicine that gives us the strength. This is the medicine that is our people. Yacha Akiovanam Hiyana Hiyana Yacha Akiovanam Hiyavana. My name is Terrance Brown. My Native American name is Chitcus. AIPF. Ayuki, Hukik, Inam, Chitcus, Karuk Ara, Patavero. I am a Kerak tribal medicine man. I am a veteran. I'm a Vietnam veteran. I also am a part of the Agent Orange folks that have a lot of medical issues. And this is one of the things that I wish to address today on behalf of our veterans that served, that were exposed, that were on the ground when the defoliant hit the jungle canopy and was sprayed, for those that transported, for those that worked on the Agent Orange aircraft that were contaminated and have afflictions. God bless you. I've traveled throughout the country. I've traveled across the state of California, working to unite our Northern California tribes, our Central California tribes, and our Southern California tribes. There is an issue out there that's not been addressed. Our Agent Orange veterans are dying by the hundreds. Many are expiring before anybody can even help them. Many are suffering a torment that is literally tearing our families apart, both financially and with the health hazards created by Agent Orange that our veterans have to deal with. Close to 700,000 plus veterans still remain a part of the Agent Orange problem and the National Registry. What I have found out in my travels and my discussions is VA, the Department of Defense, and our country have basically abandoned our Vietnam veterans with Agent Orange. I can tell you, our Agent Orange veterans in the field have nobody to talk to, nowhere to go, in financial distress, and more importantly, suffering in the middle of the night by themselves. I know because I'm one of them. I've just concluded an 8.5-year fight with VA because a bug got into my system, perforated my stomach. I lost half of my stomach along with my vagus nerve in 1977. I didn't know I was eligible for benefits until I walked into a VA clinic in San Francisco, and one of the agents there said, "Oh, by the way, can you tell me if you're a disabled veteran?" I said, "Ma'am, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm here to help one of my friends, Walt there, qualify through his papers. If he submits them, he was exposed to the mustard gas that China was messing around with. By the way, they're always messing around with some kind of chemical. In this case, mustard gas affected and hurt a lot of our veterans in Korea. Walt still has a severe cough, and it bothers him all the time." As a result of that, the agent said, "Well, can you tell me what's your percentage?" I looked at the agent again and I said, "Ma'am, I don't know what you're talking about." Now, this is just a few years ago. As a result of that, we filled out some papers, and almost 2 years later, I got a BVA notice that said, "You're qualified for 20% disability." I did not accept it. I could not believe it, because the one issue that has bothered me since I returned from Vietnam was my stomach, and the loss of half of my stomach and my severed vagus nerve. Today, I am very confused. Today, I'm trying to understand what's happening across this country. There is a disrespect for the American flag. There is a disrespect for the American veteran. There is a disrespect for our national anthem. I don't understand what happened during the Vietnam War. All I know is I was a veteran along with a lot of veterans, my friends, my best man, those that came back KIA, killed in action, those that came back WIA, wounded in action, paid a terrible price. I can tell you as a Vietnam veteran, I can tell you as a Native American, a Karok tribal medicine man, there is something going on out there that's very bad. And Creator knows it, Creator senses it, and Creator feels the disturbance. We, who have been a part of this nation, who are the first to fight, are probably the ones that are going to have to separate out and figure out the means to coexist. Hey ya na na wa hey yo wa ha EPA hey ya na na wa hey wo hey na na hey na wa hey na na wa hey na wa hey yo hey Yehovah, hey Yehovah, hey Yehovah, now, hey Yehovah, hey now, hey Yehovah, hey Yehovah, hey Yehovah, hey Yehovah, sweet tea, hey Yehovah, hey Yehovah, hey. And Welcome back. For a number of years now, I've been working on how to resurrect a major thing that has affected our veterans. It's no longer a thing. It's absolute catastrophe that in America today, with the type of medical services that we still have 700,000 plus Vietnam veterans that are in crisis under the Agent Orange. Its effect on people is devastating. It cuts into your skin. It affects your bone structure. It tears your eyesight apart. It eats away at your stomach, your inside, and it makes a complete mess of you. That's just the diabetic part. Once your skin starts to deteriorate, once you have problems with your stomach, number of things, the inability to walk, you can't get around. You don't want to call, you don't want to bother anybody. Yet, there are so many things that we could be doing for our veteran. Many die without being heard. Many die without getting any services. Many perish because they don't even know that they're eligible for services. One good example is our Native American veterans. When we returned from Vietnam, we simply melted back into the woods, the mountains, where our reservations were. It wasn't until 1981 when President Reagan appointed 4 Vietnam veterans to transition from White House personnel over to VA to find out what was going on, to better services for the American veteran. What we found was a quagmire. What we found was professionals that didn't really want to do a job that caused great conflict within the military services. I know because I was one of the first fired over Agent Orange. Because of my experience on Capitol Hill as Chief of Staff to Congressman Don Young from Alaska, I was given the responsibility to get Robert Nimmo in 1981 cleared by the United States Senate for the VA administrator's position. I got that accomplished. Nick Longworth became the executive officer. Vice President Bush had a gentleman by the name of Alan Clark, number 2 man, deputy VA administrator. I was given the responsibility for clearing and getting that person successfully through Senate confirmation. I was slated to be Alan's executive officer, but we started clashing with a number of things and a number of issues, and Agent Orange was one of them. It wound up a week before Christmas. Nick Longworth called me in and said, "Mr. Brown, you're terminated. We no longer need your services." After being fired Administrator Nimmo went on Good Morning America talking about Agent Orange, basically saying it was nothing more than the equivalent of teenage acne. That set the country afire. That set the marker for a fight on what we were going to do about Agent Orange. That was in 1981. Today, we haven't progressed much further. We need to be talking about what we're going to do for our Agent Orange families that have lost their loved ones, that have lost their primary source of income. We need to talk about counseling for our children. We need to talk about what's happening with a lot of the women that had miscarriages. In this fight, 8.5 years, on my case alone, I found out that my first ex-wife had 2 miscarriages. I didn't even know about. Our veterans, when we returned from Vietnam, knew something was wrong. We knew something was happening to our bodies, but it took years for the federal government to respond favorably and even begin to talk about the issues confronting our veterans. Today, it is essential that we start talking to each of these veterans. Suicide is up. We need to halt that. We need to find people that can provide them assistance, provide them transportation, give them credibility, and allow them to finish out the rest of their life with dignity. That's not happening right now. I know because I've been around to these care homes. I've been around to the families that don't have any money. I've been around to the families and talked to them that have been put in a crisis. This has got to stop. And the only way it's going to stop is when our veterans come together. Hopefully, we'll reach that point soon. My name is Chitcus. I'm a Vietnam veteran, and I'm putting together an action plan with some suggestions that you might be interested in following. Thank you.
In war, as in life, the affected must go on. The after effects of war know no discrimination. Those nations that seek war often are not able to care for the wounded in action and the killed in action families. Somehow, the survivors live on. Each conflict, each battle, each warrior, all give something of themselves. Sometimes all is given. Be it a tribal dispute, global assertion, a World War I, a World War II, Korea, Vietnam, national defense, or wars of wars to end all conflicts. There always is a hardship veil that remains with the ones who are directly impacted on the field of battle. It is the surviving veteran. Not knowing your enemy is one thing. To engage, to endure, is not all that one makes it to be. It is in life, after the battle, that a nation sees the after effects of war. Agent Orange is not a very pretty color. Its darkness knows no limits or boundaries. Its after effects wreck families and rips open the returning veterans' hearts and lives. Look, listen, hear the distant cry for help in the night. Let us, those that have their health, turn towards the center of earth. Lift up those that are still struggling. Help provide a path where one can assist another to become whole, healthy being worthy of life again. Let us cure the afflicted and make orange just a color again. Chitcus.